Lesson 37, the West Haven Express. We'll talk about railway service in this lesson. First, listen to the text and answer this question. What was the mistake the author made? 作者犯的错误是什么？
We have learned to expect that trains will be punctual. After years of conditioning, most of us have developed an unshakable faith in railway timetables. Ships may be delayed by storms. Flights may be cancelled because of bad weather. But trains must be on time. Only an exceptionally heavy snowfall might temporarily dislocate railway services. It is all too easy to blame the railway authorities when something does go wrong. The truth is that when mistakes occur, they are more likely to be ours than theirs. After consulting my railway timetable, I noted with satisfaction that there was an express train to West Haven. It went direct from my local station, and the journey lasted a mere hour and 17 minutes. When I boarded the train, I could not help noticing that a great many local people got on as well. At the time, this did not strike me as odd. I reflected that there must be a great many people besides myself who wished to take advantage of this excellent service. Neither was I surprised when the train stopped at Whitley, a tiny station a few miles along the line. Even a mighty express train can be held up by signals. But when the train dawdled at station after station, I began to wonder. It suddenly dawned on me that this express was not roaring down the line at 90 miles an hour, but barely chugging along at 30. 1 hour and 17 minutes passed, and we had not even covered half the distance. I asked the passenger if this was the West Haven Express, but he had not even heard of it. I determined to lodge a complaint as soon as we arrived. 2 hours later, I was talking angrily to the station master at West Haven. When he denied the train's existence, I borrowed his copy of the timetable. There was a note of triumph in my voice when I told him that it was there in black and white. Glancing at it briefly, he told me to look again. A tiny asterisk conducted me to a footnote at the bottom of the page. It said, "This service has been suspended."
So what was the mistake the author made? Right, he didn't see the asterisk, or he didn't read the footnote. The text tells us about the experience of the author to take an express train, or rather, what he believed to be an express train. It took him half the way to realize it was not the train he wanted to take. But he didn't doubt himself for a flicker of moment. 但是作者呢，对自己丝毫都没有怀疑。Only when he got off and complained to the station master did he find that it was actually his own mistake, rather than that of the railway authorities. So it supports the last sentence in the first paragraph. The truth is that when mistakes occur, they are more likely to be ours than theirs. Actually, the first paragraph tells us about how we always demand perfect service, and how we always readily blame any mistakes on railway service rather than on ourselves, just like the author did. Okay, now let's look at some language points in this text. After years of conditioning, most of us have developed an unshakable faith. Conditioning means the process of being conditioned, or the process of being influenced. 潜移默化的过程，习惯。Look at this example. Conditioning starts as soon as boys are given guns to play with, and girls are given dolls. 给男孩子枪玩，给女孩子娃娃，这个时候 conditioning 潜移默化的过程就开始了。Most of us have developed a faith. Develop here means form, 形成。Look at one more example. After living on her own for years, she developed some very strange habit. 养成了一些很怪的习惯。An unshakable faith in railway timetables. Faith here means a great trust. Look at these examples and see what faith means. His faith in God. Faith here means religious belief, 是指信上帝的宗教信仰。I have great faith in you means I have great trust in you. You can also use faith to describe trust in things. For example, she said she had no faith in modern technology. 她不相信现代科技。She didn't trust modern technology. Only an exceptionally heavy snowfall. Exceptionally is usually used to emphasize, means greater than usual, extremely. An exceptionally talented young man means an extremely talented young man. Might temporarily dislocate railway services. Dislocate 这个词的本意是使关节错位。For example, he dislocated his shoulder. But in the text, dislocate means disrupt. 打乱了铁路运行。I'll give you one more example. The traffic was dislocated by the construction. 因为修路，交通被扰乱了。It is all too easy to blame the railway authorities. All too are used to emphasize easy. 那么用 all too 后边还可以加上其他的形容词或者副词，表示强调。For example, it's all too much for me to bear means I can't stand it. The holidays passed by all too quickly. 假期过得实在是太快了。To blame the railway authorities. Blame means to say somebody is responsible for some fault. 指责、责备。For example, there is no one to blame but yourself. 除了你自己之外，也没有什么别人可怪。The truth is that when mistakes occur, they're more likely to be ours than theirs. The truth is means what actually happened is that. 其实，实际的情形是。For example, the truth is that after the reform, nothing has changed. 真实的情况是，改革之后，没有任何事情发生变化。They are more likely to be ours than theirs. 我们来看看 likely 的用法。Please remind me, for I am likely to forget. 用 likely 后边加 to do 不定式。We can also use it is likely that clause. For example, it is likely that we'll not be here next year. 明年我们可能就不在这儿了。After consulting my railway timetable. Consult 有两层词义。One is ask advice. For example, consult a doctor. 意思就是看医生。Consult a friend. 问一个朋友的意见。But here it means to refer to certain information. 参考什么消息。For example, consult a dictionary. 查字典。Or consult a map. 查一下地图。I noted with satisfaction. Note here means I noticed with satisfaction. 注意到。For example, suddenly he noted that it had already stopped raining. 忽然注意到雨已经停了。It went direct from my local station. Direct here is an adverb. 这里呢，用作副词使用。I'll give you two more examples. Can we fly direct to New York, or do we have to stop in LA first? 我们能不能直飞纽约，还是必须在 LA 转机？ Or can I dial the number direct, or do I have to go through the operator? 我能不能直拨号码，还是必须要通过接线员？ This did not strike me as odd. Strike somebody means to cause somebody feel something. 使人觉得怎么样？ Look at two more examples. Doesn't it strike you as strange that he never talks about his family? 他从来不论及家人，你觉得这奇怪吗？ His jokes didn't strike me as funny. 我觉得他讲的笑话不好玩。I reflected that there must be a great many people besides myself who wish to take advantage of this excellent service. Reflect here means think. 我想了想 reflect 尤其是指回过头来想想。Reflect 有不同的词义 Let's look at these examples. The moon reflects the sun's rays. 这是 reflect 的本意，反射。His letter reflects how really he feels. 这里 reflect 是反映的意思。He reflected that this might be the last time for him to see her. Here reflected means the same as the text. He thought, or he considered. 他回过头来想想，这可能是最后一次见他了。Take advantage of this excellent service means to make use of this excellent service. I'll give you one more example. You should take full advantage of the library service. 你应当充分利用图书馆的服务。要表示强调的时候，使用 full 这个形容词。Neither was I surprised. 这句话用正常语句就要表达为 I was not surprised either. 而且要把 neither 改为 not either. 当 neither 用在句首的时候，主谓要倒装。Look at this example. I haven't read this book. I don't intend to read it either. 我没看过这本书，也不打算看。如果要用 neither 放在句首，这句话就要说成 Neither do I intend to read it. 要把主谓倒装。Even a mighty express train. Mighty is a very informal word. 这是一个很口语化的说法，表示强调。For example, It's mighty good to see you. 见到你太高兴了。Can be held up by signals. Hold up means delay, 被信号耽误。Look at this example. Sorry to be late. We were held up by traffic. 我们因为塞车而迟到了。It suddenly dawned on me that this express was not roaring down the line. Dawn on somebody means somebody realizes something. 忽然意识到什么事情。Let's look at some examples. The truth finally dawned on him means he finally realized the truth. It finally dawned on him that his parents had been right. 他最后呢，明白了他的父母是对的。如果意识到的事情是一个名词或者名词性词组，它就可以直接做主语。如果意识到的事情是一个句子，就可以用 it 来做代替性主语，后边再加 that 从句。I determined to lodge a complaint. Lodge here means to make a complaint. 投诉。它后边还经常接这样的宾语 lodge a protest. 抗议 lodge an appeal. 请愿。When he denied the train's existence, deny 否认 refuse to admit. Let's look at its usage. 我们来看看这个词的用法。Aleko denied taking it and led Dmitry into his backyard. 这个是我们前面课文中学过的句子。You can use deny doing something. You can also express it with a clause. Aleko denied that he had taken it。它后边呢也可以跟一个从句，当然或者像课文中直接跟一个名词或者名词性词组。His copy of the timetable， 他的那一份时间表。Give you one more example. Has everybody got a copy of the agenda? 会议日程是不是人手一份了？ There was a note of triumph. Note means a touch of emotion in your expression. 有一丝。For example, there is a note of jealousy in his voice. 那声音中流露出一丝嫉妒。Or we can also use an adjective to describe note. For example, her voice had an angry note. 她的声音听起来有些愤怒。It was there in black and white. Here, black and white means it was printed. 白纸黑字印在那里。Let's look at what black and white might mean in other contexts. An old black and white TV, 老的黑白电视机。A film or a photograph in black and white, 意思就是黑白的电影或者黑白照片。I expect to see your proposal in black and white by the end of this month. Here, in black and white means definite. Some people tend to see things in black and white. Here it means to see things simply, 以一种简单的方式看待事物，不知道事物有更复杂的一面。A tiny asterisk conducted me to a footnote. Conduct means directed me to read the footnote. It can also mean lead. For example, the waiter conducted him to his table. 侍者把他领到座位上。This service has been suspended. Suspended means officially stopped. 它是指官方的命令停下来。Look at more examples. Publication of this newspaper has been suspended. 被停刊了。Remember this sentence we learned before. The cable from which the bridge has been suspended. 这里是 suspend 的另外一层词义，吊着。This text uses several verbs to describe surprise and the sudden realization of the author. 我们来看看这些不同的说法。Neither was I surprised. 这是很常用的一个字。I began to wonder. 表达的也是吃惊的意思。This did not strike me as odd. 换了一个动词 strike somebody as odd. 又使用了 It suddenly dawned on me. Dawn on 这个词组来表明作者突然意识到情形的惊讶。So much about the language study of this text. Now coming back to the topic of railway service. Some people think that railway is a superior means of public transport. In comparison to ships and planes, it's quicker than ships and safer than planes. In some countries, railway tickets might be more expensive than airfares. 比如在美国，有的时候机票就可能比火车票还要便宜一些。在英国呢，另外还有一种很发达的交通工具，就是 coach service, 长途大巴。It's cheaper than railway, but it's less comfortable. Britain actually possesses a very good railway service system. Often, you don't have to make a reservation. You can go directly to the booking office or ticket office, 购票处, and you don't really need to check in to enter the platform. 大家可以自由上车 but occasionally there will be a ticket inspector during the journey. 查票的人就是 ticket inspector. 但是最终呢，买票与否全凭自觉。At every railway station, there will be very detailed timetables guiding you to different destinations. But there are often a lot of asterisks under the timetable. 如果大家去英国旅行，一定要保证不要像作者一样忘了读这些星号 ，because these asterisks will guide you to all the exceptions, telling you that this service will be suspended on a certain day. Okay, so much on the topic of railway service. See you next time.